Hi, Dr. Ron here, and with this video, um, going to talk about something I don't usually do. I like to kind of keep things away from being political or too heavy, but the atrocities taking place in the Ukraine has affected many of us, and while we are, so many of us are very supportive of the uh, courage, the bravery, and struggles that are demonstrated by the Ukrainian people, we also know that they're doing it at tremendous risks. For many people, it's meant risking their lives. On the other hand, the war has brought out something that happens every once in a while. It happened after 9/11 with the attacks that were uh, made on World Trade Center and in certain other instances. And that's when there is a crisis, we do begin to recognize how much we have in common, how much most of the world pulls together to oppose terrorism, to oppose militarism, to oppose the unfairness that goes on in some quarters. And while nobody in their right mind would say that, you know, this was a good thing to be able to bring us together, we don't really need a crisis to bring us together. Let's appreciate the humanity that we all share. Let's recognize that if we can pull together in support of Ukraine, if so much of the world could pull together at the time of 9/11, and in a few other instances that are notable, let's use that for a couple of things. One is to try and make that kind of the ideal way of living together as people, regardless of nation of origin, regardless of religion, regardless of political belief. So on a large scale, let's try and do that at a national level and beyond, but also in our interpersonal lives to recognize that when people dismiss the other person, when people display hatred as opposed to acceptance of the fact that we can have differences of opinions, of political party, of religion, and so on. When we begin to accept and live our lives in that way, the world can be a much, much better place for everybody. And it shouldn't have to require a crisis for that to take place. So why don't we all think about it and pledge that we're going to lead our own lives in a more tolerant, more effective, more loving way, and try and think about it on a day-to-day basis as opposed to requiring a crisis for us to be able to switch into that mode. That's kind of my message for today. Not a long one, but I think an important one, and I hope that you will agree. And we'll see you next time. It's Dr. Ron Kaiser from the Mental Health Gym, the Rejuvenating Revolution, and Rejuvenating University. See you next time.